Okay, hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing the 3.5 course practice for algebra for the periodic that we have in week 7. Which of the following values of x satisfies the equation blah 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 equals 0? For a fraction to equal 0, you have to have the numerator, not the denominator, the numerator equals 0. Why? Because if the denominator equals 0, that fraction is undefined. So for questions like these, just ignore the denominator. Focus, how can you get the numerator to equal 0? For this specific question, we have two options. Either the coefficient of x minus 5, which is x, can equal 0, because then whatever's in the bracket will get multiplied by 0, and the whole numerator will equal to 0. Or you can have the bracket, whatever the operation is in there, equal to 0, so that you can multiply it by the coefficient and get 0. Here it's x minus 5. How can you get that to equal 0? X equals 5. And if it's plus, if it was say x plus 5, you would put the answer as negative 5, so it would still equal 0. So the answer is 0 or 5. For this question, it's asking for the number of possible roots. Not what is the root, the number. Focus on questions like that. Don't rush through the exam and manage to make a silly mistake like that. What is the number? Here, for a root is a value of x or whatever the variable is that can make the denominator equal to 0. So you only have one equation as the denominator, which is x plus 2. So it can only have one root. In case it asks for what the root is, like I said in the last question, x plus 2, so it's negative 2. So here the answer is there is one possible root. For questions like these, you're gonna wanna cross multiply and then multiply the denominators. So when you cross multiply, you're gonna get 15x plus 3x over 45. See, we cross multiply the numbers and we put them as the numerator, then we multiply the denominators and put them here. What we get is 18x over 45. We can divide by 9, we'll get 2 over 5, 2x equals 4. If you don't spot that you can divide by 9 right away, you can try dividing by 3 and then 3 again. You'll end up with 6x over 15, and then 2x over 5 equals 4. If you're stuck on this part of the equation, what you need to remember is that a fraction is just the numerator divided by the denominator. So 2x divided by 5 equals 4. You can bring over the divided by 5 to the other side, which when bring it over the equal sign, you'll get 4 times 5, which is 20. Or the way the book puts it is you multiply both sides by 5, but that's needlessly complicating it. You get 2x equals 20. Divide this side by 2. You end up with x equals 10. For this question, it's the same as the previous question, but since the end product is a fraction, there's gonna be a small difference at the end, which you're gonna see. X over 4 plus x plus 3 over 5 equals x plus 12 over 20. You're gonna want to do the same thing as the last question. Cross multiply the denominators. You'll get 5x plus 4x plus 12 over 4 times 5, 20 equals x plus 12 over 20. So again, going back on what I said in the last question, since it's 5x plus 4x plus 12 divided by 20, and here it's x plus 12 divided by 20 again, you can move one of the 20s to the other side and cancel them out. You'll end up with 5x plus 4x plus 12 equals x plus 12. So 9x, because we add these two to simplify, plus 12 equals x plus 12. Same thing as what we did here, but with addition and subtraction. Move the 12 over here. You cancel them out. You get 9x equals x. You might get confused at this stage, but just keep on going with the steps and you'll eventually find the solution. So here again, you're gonna want to subtract the 9x by x, and you'll get 8x equals 0. 8 times what equals 0? Like we said in one of the past questions, whatever we multiply by 0 is 0, so x equals 0. 8 times 0 is 0, obviously. This question here is a little complicated, but bear with me. If you practice it a few times, it'll get really simple. Same thing, multiply the denominators. But notice the sign is subtraction. So instead of adding the two together, we subtract them like so. 3 times 4 equal to 12 minus 2x over 8x equals 2 over x cubed. You could go ahead and simplify the x and stuff, but it's better to leave it like it is and start cross multiplying again. But not the way we did over here, cross multiply and multiply the denominators, since that's only for operations like plus and minus. Here it's an equal sign, so you just go back to like the normal cross multiplication we took like a long time ago. You end up with 12x squared minus 2x cubed plus 16x. You rearrange it in, I think it's called standard form, to get negative 2x cubed plus 12x squared plus 16x. Notice how every one of the numbers in this equation has x, so immediately we can take that out. And you can also divide them all by negative 2. Why negative 2 and not 2? Because then it'll just be easier to factor. So negative 2, we take that out. We end up negative 2x, we end up getting x squared. It's negative, so this becomes negative, minus 12x squared plus 8. Here we have this equals 0 because we cross multiplied it, so there's gonna be nothing on the other side. We just leave it as 0. Over here we factor it. My bad, it's not 12x squared because we removed one of the x. X squared plus, oh, and my bad, on the last slide I had it plus 12. Since we divided it by negative x, it's minus 6, not 12, x plus 8. You factor this. Since it's x squared, you put x here. The factors of 8 are 1 and 8, 2 and 4. It's obviously 2 and 4 because they equal to 6. You put 2 negatives because here it's negative, here it's positive. You end up getting 2 and 4. So the solution set for this equation is 2 and 4. For this question, it's really simple. You get 2x squared minus 18x over x equals 0. Since over here it's equals 0, if you ever have a fraction equal to 0, something that you can remember to do is what we did in the previous questions. Cancel out the numerator. How? Simple. Remember, it's divided by x. So if you move it over here, 0 times x, 0. So it's still equal to 0, but you get rid of your denominator. You get 2x cubed minus 18x equals 0. You can take out 2x from here. You get x equals 9. X plus 9 equals 0. So what is it equal to? Negative 9. Like we said, if you have something like this, you just put the opposite sign of whatever it is for the answer. So here, x equals 9. Submit. And perfect. Okay, thank you guys for watching. If you want to see any of the other sections, those are also up on this channel. Have a nice day. Good luck with the exam.